to another installment of our smaller single point podcast episodes. I'm going to start with a very clear truth that no one has probably told you, but you need to hear. And that is the version of you that got you in the position you are currently in, version of you that got you here, is actively blocking the life you say you want in the future. You do not need to improve that guy. You're not trying to build off that guy. You need to bury that guy and let him be done. You're not meant to become a slightly better version of the old self that you knew. You're meant to build the person who already lives like they've won. Let that digest and kind of comprehend for a second and understand what is being said. There is a version of you 10, 20 years from now that is living the exact life that you want to achieve. The version of you currently is most likely actively living in confliction and contradiction with that person. The key is not to just grow or improve on the version of you that got you to average, that got you to the position that you're currently looking to get away from. The key is to understand the exact identity of the version of you that is living already as if you have won and achieved the goals that you want to achieve in 20 years' time. From that exploration, that reflection, you reverse engineer and deconstruct the traits and variables of that person and implement them immediately. This isn't about self-improvement. It isn't just self-development. It's about understanding the role of identity in your achievements, in your success, in the life you're trying to live, and how identity shapes the person you become. The only person who earns your goal is the version of you who already operates like it's done, who already operates 10 years in the future. That's the 10-year version, the high-level version of you. Your job isn't just to catch up to him slowly. It's to understand what that person is, who that person is, and act like him now. Before anything around you says you need to be ready or that you need to change or you need to improve, you put into action the identity of the person that you will be in 10 years' time with the success and the goals that you want to achieve. There's a very specific version of he or she that is doing the things that you know you need to do, but doing them immediately. The point is that the old you isn't just incomplete, but more that it is a liability. The old you is predictable, reactive, emotional, excuse-ridden, waiting, passive, and acting as if there's going to be a right time to do things. That's not a phase. It is not a experiential problem. It's not a lifestyle problem. It is an identity problem. It is a version of you that is very much responsible. And this is where ownership is important and a fundamental principle that you will hear in most of the stuff I speak about. It is your fault and responsibility that you are in the current position that you're in as the person that you currently are for the most part. That version of you cannot come with you into the future if you expect to improve and get better. Ask yourself as a reframing question, as a reflective question, is the way I train today aligned with someone who wins a national title? Is the decisions I make around my food, my sleep time, my gaming commitments, meaning how much time I spend playing games, my work ethic involved in my company, are they proof of the future that you want to achieve, or are they proof of the future that you're currently heading towards? If it's not, it is the wrong version of you acting towards those outcomes. The most exciting part, I kind of frame this as if it's very similar to when you play a car racing game and there is what they call a ghost lap. There is the perfect lap that you can execute. There's the perfect single lap that goes around every single time you play that you can try to follow, you can try to beat. That's the 10-year version of you that exists where everything went perfectly, where that person achieved the very specific outcomes you're trying to reach. The best part about that is you know who that is, and you can deconstruct and reverse engineer it. You can get the specific real details out of that person and implement them now. What is it that that version of you is doing that you can implement immediately? How does he train? How does she train? What does he or she say no to? What do they reinforce? What are the boundaries that they erect? What are the routines that they engage in? What are the behaviors and habits that they put in place? What are the nutritional and performance decisions that they make every single day that make the next week, the next day, the next 12 hours the most productive and efficient possible to get things done and move the needle as much as possible? There is an answer to every one of those questions that you can sit with and reflect on, because that is a version of you that you know about. You understand that person in 10 years' time and you can say, I know what they're doing. I can now implement that. If you have the answers to that question, audit the next 72 hours of your life and ask yourself if they match. If not, then the person that you are meant to become and the person you are acting like are very much incongruent. And this is where people's words over actions or actions over words tell me a lot about themselves. People will talk a lot about wanting to achieve certain things, push themselves to certain levels, reach certain physique standards, reach certain performance ceilings, but live and act as if they're happy exactly where they are, if not worse. So audit the next 72 hours of what you do in a day, what you do in a week, what you do in your life, whatever it is. 72 hours is a good reflective time. Inside that 72 hours, look back and figure out the things that you are engaging in today and tomorrow and the day after, are they aligned with the person you have to become to be that person in 10 years' time? So if they don't, you are heading in very different directions. And another key fact is that most people are just practicing the wrong self or identity. Repetition builds your reality. That doesn't mean that you are getting it right. The whole idea of 10,000 hours to mastery as a learning tool is fundamentally flawed, because you can practice the wrong thing for 10,000 hours and not get any better. You can practice being the wrong version of yourself. You can live as the wrong version of yourself. You can live with the wrong identity and behaviors and traits that aren't going to take you towards the life that you want to live. Yes, you can say that you live up to certain standards, but do you track your food when no one's watching? Do you make sure that that step count gets hit? Do you put your foot on the line every single time? Do you track to the gram or do you round up? Do you make these decisions that are going to reflect not just you now, because it's easier to cut the corner, but the version that you want to be in 10 years' time that would look back and say, I really wish I didn't do that? Because you can still repeat the wrong version of you that you think is still productive or efficient or effective. Just because you are slightly improving habits does not mean that those habits aren't wrong, or some of the rest of your life is not unaligned or incongruent with the version of you you want to be. The difference between the you who wins and the you who doesn't, it's not time, it's execution. It's execution of the identity that you know you need to create. People get this weird conceptualization or understanding that identity is a fixed trait. This is just who I am. This is who I'm supposed to be. I'm just this person who binge eats. I'm just a person with these psychological issues. I'm just this person who can't train. I'm just this person who doesn't know how to do X, Y, Z. They become fixed in not only their mindset, but in their belief and internalization of a very negative version of themselves. That does not land in an improved experience and improved life, a developed person, because you aren't pushing yourself to get better. Your identity is not fixed. You don't wait to become the guy and then assume that you're going to get there and become him. It's the same way that I phrased the idea that you don't simply become a pro athlete, then start living like a pro athlete. You act as a pro and you act professionally, and then eventually you become a pro athlete. People get that order around the wrong way and then become upset about the idea that they didn't get the outcome that they wanted. You were acting like an amateur, expecting to be professional, and then being upset that you weren't given professional status. The take-home point for me is stop trying to improve the version of you that got average results. That version is done, especially if you are asking yourself the first question. If you are starting to audit your friendship circles, if you're starting to challenge your environment, you're starting to create a life that you want to be better at. The longer you keep that version of your life, the longer your future stays buried and you stay out of reach. The only person who earns your version, earns your vision, is the one who already acts like it's a non negotiable and steps into it straight away. Operate, live, and exist like that version of you that is already where you want to be, and eventually that becomes a reality. Repeat it until there's no difference between who you are and who you were meant to be and who this identity was supposed to be. That isn't about a self-help mindset. It's not just about some inspirational quotes you see on Instagram. It's understanding the importance of identity and executing like it's already done. And eventually the result that you want to achieve happens, and you can reflect, refine, improve, and progress and scale from that position. You can't scale from the person who's doing average things and then hope to achieve extreme results. That is my take on identity, building the version of you that gets things done, reflecting on the type of person you currently are, because it's worth reflecting between those two things. It's not perfect, and you should probably be aware that it's not. If you think there's nothing about you that could change or improve, if you think your identity is perfect the way it is, you're going to be in for a really rude shock when it's time to get into higher level rooms, in higher level environments, and get higher level goals. Take away with this how you will, do what you want with it, take it in, sit with it, challenge it, message me, tell me I'm wrong, I don't care. Do something with it, do something with yourself, make the change, figure it out.